Can I get you guys to introduce yourself?
Of course.
Of course, how do you want to start off?
Yeah, start us off.
Hi, I'm Troy. I'm a screenwriter. I'm from Miami. I spent some time in Boston, going to school, Emerson, and I work with two production companies, currently in production for a show and a short film right now.
Hey, it's me, Mo, aka Chinks. I'm just living life. I'm from Boston. um, yeah, I don't know.
Aspiring models, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yes.
inspired model. Come get your organic soaps. Handmade by me. Handmade by
You
me.
know it.
Oh my God, I can't even speak right now. But yeah, check me out at Nurturify on Instagram. Check out your soaps.
Hi, my name's Tijana Lamore, and I'm an artist slash caregiver. And yeah, I'm also just living life, learning, going through the motions, and that's all.
Yeah, Mike. What's up, y'all? My name is Christy Charlo. I'm an artist. I love my cartoons so much. They're the greatest. They're so awesome. They're wonderful. Besides that, I do spoken word too. I need to take it a little bit more serious, but besides that, I'm an artist, cartoonist.
I didn't know you did spoken word.
Hey.
Um, but the question that we were talking about is like off screen. We're talking about getting stuck as an artist, plateauing, and as a writer, like you guys as artists and stuff, and like you just being like a person yourself. Like, when have you gotten stuck?
Honestly, I feel like I've gone stuck when like trying to figure out like what's my purpose. Um, like I mean, like everybody has their own like thing going on, and I just feel like my personal stuck moment was just kind of figuring out, you know, what is my purpose? What am I here for? Like, like what am I here for to strive, or like what why am I here, or what is my purpose to serve to people around me? Um, I want to say I'm slowly but surely finding that. I do feel like part of like speaking out about like my theories of life or like my opinions, um, and like listening to others and getting the feedback and taking constructional criticism and like life lessons in general are like the purpose or some sort of reason. But other than that, I did feel stuck in some sense because it's just like what are we doing? Why are we here? Um, where how are we gonna be able to move forward?
Mm.
Um, and I feel like a lot of information that we are kind of trying to find isn't really given to us, and we have to kind of go out there and kind of find it. And I feel like a lot of people get stuck because they can't, like they don't think that they have, like they don't think to go out and find it. They think like most people think like things are supposed to be given to them, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then I feel like as you get older you learn that like meeting people, networking, and just kind of like just living, you kind of, and like taking life lessons, taking like certain things that you go through as life lessons is like you don't take that as being stuck. You gotta take that in some other way. Like I said, you kind of gotta look at things as um like what I was saying to you earlier, like looking at things like half full, the glass half full instead of half empty. And once you start doing that, you don't feel so much stuck. You know what I mean? Um, it's a lot. Like especially in our community, I feel like a lot of people do feel stuck and don't know how to get out of it, or don't know who to turn to get out of that
That's a
mode.
yeah.
It just really gets deep. I don't know.
That's a
And then
conversation. But what
people,
you gonna say?
get in and out. You get in and out.
No, I was just saying, as far as stuck, I always thought of it as my perception. So if I feel like I'm not doing enough, or if I feel like there's been times where I've been wasting my time or procrastinating, to me, that's being stuck. And to me, that's because of my
That's true.
perception.
Wait,
So
are you talking as a writer? Are you talking as a writer or are you talking as a person?
as a writer and as a person.
So when you get stuck, like how do you get stuck as a writer? How do you get stuck as a person?
So as a writer, I feel like if I haven't worked on any shows, if I'm not actively pursuing my career, I feel like it's a zero sum game. Like someone else got the opportunity that I didn't get because I wasn't applying myself. Or I've been doing nothing and I could have been writing, I could have been editing, I could have been working and refining myself, but I haven't. So something or my perception at that time, it could be life, it could be obstacles, but I was stuck where I wasn't actually moving forward with my writing, with my career. And I perceive that as okay, what can you do to apply yourself? What can you do? Like, it's not because I don't have talent that I
Mm.
get stuck. It's not because I, can't physically write or can't physically read at the time. It's whatever was blocking me. It's whatever had me feeling like I couldn't focus enough to be moving forward, to be applying myself, to be trying to
Mm.
get on a show or get on a cast or get on a crew or ask or just generally ask if someone needs help, if someone needs my services. And I think that's a big part of, like, again, it's a mindset to me because I have a friend that always tells me, like, you can't worry about what you haven't done.
Okay.
You have to focus on what you can do. So if I ever feel like, wow, this whole month, like I haven't done anything new, I haven't worked on anything new, I don't know what I'm going to be working on in the next 6 months, I try to change my perception and be like, okay, I'm not focused on what I haven't done. I'm focused on what I can do. I can ask people if they need help on a script. I see somebody posting about their show. I can ask, like, wow, I love what you're doing. I hope everything's going smoothly in production. If not, if you need some help, I'm available. I have some free time. I have some downtime.
Mm. And that's from a writing aspect.
Yeah.
Now, you guys, as you guys are like visual artists, what's your version of being stuck as a visual artist?
All right, you want to speak first or should I go? Okay. So for me personally, a roadblock I face as a visual artist is okay. So as you may know, I'm a cartoonist. So I draw cartoons, but before I wasn't drawing backgrounds like scenes. So I was drawing all these different cartoon characters. Let's say one image there can be like 200, 300 totally different cartoon characters, but they were just there. So it got to a point where I was like, okay, I want them to do more. So as an artist, you end up wanting more for yourself. When you reach one goal, you set up your next goal, then the next goal after that. So my next goal was to put my cartoon characters in sceneries. And um, when I faced that roadblock, that challenge, I decided to like look at different scenes for inspiration. So when I'm driving, if I see a scene that I could imagine my cartoons in, I would take a picture of that scenery and add my cartoon characters on top of it. So like when I go back and draw, I draw the scene first, then I draw my cartoon characters interacting with that scene, and just keep growing from there. I feel like Roblox is your inner self telling you, okay, it's time to grow, it's time to do more. So when you see it, take advantage of it instead of like falling back and not doing anything. It's just telling you, okay, you want more for yourself, so go get more.
Yeah, for me, when I hit roadblocks, I usually feel like it's an energy thing, as in like, what am I taking in the moments that I leave, like into the moments that like I'm sitting down. All right, I want to create a piece of work, and I realize like maybe I haven't like nurtured that feeling in me for like a couple of weeks or a couple of days, and it becomes
Mm.
more difficult because I'm not focusing on like, oh, this inspires me or that inspires me. I'm focused on my the basic living, working, going to school, doing stuff like that. And I realize sometimes it's not the time. And when I sit down and I think about, okay, I want to create something, and sometimes this is not the day.
Mm.
As in, I have to wait, I have to like accumulate this feeling or see things that inspire me.
Mm-hmm.
It's usually not like a one track thing. I also like, I don't know, like looking for inspiration in other places. Because sometimes I realize like this moment is not the moment right now for me to create, but let me like nurture that feeling, as in let me look through someone else's art, or let me go somewhere that inspires me and let me have alone time. Because I realize like me wanting to create. Like, I may be doing so many different things. Like, I haven't hit a plateau yet in, like, in life, but in, like, the subject I'm trying to, like, work on, like, the hobby, it kind of feels like like a writer's block or artist block. And I realized, like, to get into that mode, like, we kind of have to step out of, like, that work mode and into, like, the art mode. And, like being an artist and, like, not being able to create, it almost feels like nature for me. Like, it's natural. Like, sometimes, like, this, like, I won't be able to create every time because, I don't know, maybe it's not the right moment or I haven't catched the right feeling yet or something. But I feel like when you wait for that, like when you're patient for it, at least you understand, like, what's going on in that moment and you wait for it. Because I do believe, like, it'll be a moment where you do feel like it and you're going and your juices are flowing and everything just flows, and that's, like, the moment, like, you cherish the most. And when you like, when you cherish that moment, like, that's when you go harder, like, because it doesn't happen all the time.
Yeah.
Because it's just like anything, like, the season's changing. Like, not every moment is the moment where you can do something.
Yeah.
Can I ask you guys a question? Okay, you as a writer, right?
He is a writer.
Have you heard the word, like, Mary Sue?
No.
You never heard that?
No, what's that?
Okay, so it might be, like, sexist or what's it called, misogynistic or
Misogynist.
what's called?
Is it misogynistic?
Well, I'm asking the question.
Like,
I don't
saying
know.
the word wrongly,
What?
I don't know.
So is it misogynistic? Mary Sue is essentially like when females, they say when they females write a character, and it becomes like this person is like they don't have any flaws. There's no character development. There's like it's just a perfect person that everyone wants to be around. They call that a Mary Sue. So they were saying that with Star Wars, they said Rey is a Mary Sue because she
Rey?
didn't Rey the like she was like the pew 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 like the she didn't have any character development.
Okay.
Also Milan, like they said, like her worst thing was like she's like, oh man, I just didn't believe in myself, and now that I believe in myself, I'm the most powerful person.
Milan, like Milan, Disney Milan.
I feel like Milan had flaws, but I do
Well,
understand what you're saying.
Live action.
Oh.
Oh,
Live
I
action.
didn't watch that.
No.
Slanderous. I'm sorry. Never mind.
But did you watch any of those? Star Wars or Milan, live action? No.
I've seen Star Wars.
Oh,
I
I'm surprised
can't-
you said that.
Hey, I went to film school. I can't like.
You got that. Got a point.
I can hear you the synopsis.
Mhm.
I don't know if they have a Mary Sue or anybody in there though.
But do you think like
But okay, the perfect character that like is without flaws, doesn't have like character growth. Do I think what?
that they're already like perfect? Do you think that like have you seen that at all?
Have
Like,
I seen
have you
that
seen like
in-
people writing characters as like this person doesn't have any flaws. This person doesn't have any character development. Have you seen a Mary Sue in writing at all?
I feel like yeah, and it does a disservice to the work. It does a disservice to the actual genuineness and humanity of characters. That's one of my first notes for writers when I get scripts. A lot of times to read, I let the writer know like I love your protagonist. I love like these scenes, things like that. But what is your character's biggest obstacle? Not just their obstacle, like what is something like because people have flaws. So what is your character's flaw? So like
Okay.
just having the obstacle, Mulan's obstacle in like the animated version. I can't talk about the
Animated
live
version is very different.
But like Mulan's flaws in the animated version, right? Like her family was an obstacle. What her family wanted for her was something that she had to battle. But Mulan also had flaws as well.
Yeah.
So you don't just want a character to have obstacles, you want them to have flaws because that gives us as people humanity too. It's like you're going to have obstacles in your life, but you also have flaws because you're not perfect. So it's not just like, oh, well, guess what? This happened in my life, but you're so perfect that nothing you do is wrong either.
So
So-
so when you guys like see like on like films, like what draws you towards like a female protagonist? Like essentially, like what characteristics do you like when you watch a film? You're like, oh man, I like her.
What draws me towards female characters? Um, Sometimes it's character growth. I think that I love characters that I see myself in. So like completely delusional, completely like
Delusional.
yes,
Wait, what?
completely just like they're going to get their dreams. They're going to do this no matter what the odds are. Stuff like that. I think that like hopeless romantic characters, they're great too. Like just
You like
flawed
too?
but fully alive.
What draws you guys to like female characters like when you're watching a film?
Empowerment.
Well, recently I watched Forrest
Empowerment.
Gump, and she's not even the main character.
Wait,
right?
what?
Yeah, I watched.
You
Forrest
like
Gump.
Jenny?
Yeah, so
You know
I'm
what?
talking
Jenny
about
was
Jenny.
lit.
So yeah, Jenny. Watching her storyline was very interesting because she was like a side character. She wasn't the main, so they didn't even go into details. And like when Forrest explains the story, all you have is like the visuals and how she reacts throughout the movie. So you start to be like, oh, like things didn't like work out the way you thought it would work out for her. And I feel like those stories are like they're real and they're not really spoken about. Like he didn't speak about what happened to her, but like you could see what happened to her like
Okay.
throughout
I
her
love
whole
that.
story. I was like,
love
wow.
that shit.
Like it was very sad, and it kind of made me feel sad too. Like I wished they were clear about what was going on, but they wasn't. And it feels like this goes back to like this is kind of like a man's world, and like the woman always plays like the side character to like some guy.
Is that true?
It's
Let's talk about it. Yeah. Do women always play side characters?
I feel like I don't think that women always play side characters. I just feel like the expectation of the side women playing the side character is there. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Okay.
because naturally, ideally, like the man leads and women's supposed to kind of follow suit, comply, and all that good stuff. So I just feel like when it comes to that, like the expectation is definitely there. Like you would think, yeah, that
As a writer.
As a writer, I've been in a lot of rooms where it's a lot of men and not a lot of women, and it's a lot of male characters and not a lot of female characters. So do I get like they're the side character? No, not necessarily, but a lot of times going into projects, it's not men making shows about women a lot of times.
But
right?
Are the
Like
women received better? Are the women received better if they're in a sidekick role?
I think when those roles are played, right? Like I think when there's like a side character role, I think a lot of audience should pay attention because it like you were kind of saying, like it gives like you kind of like it's not like directly there in your face like, here, this is what's happening, but you kind of look at it like, oh, this is what's going on. It gives you your audience their own mind of thought of like what's going on in this case scenario, I guess. And I think like that's very important, especially as like a writer or somebody who's trying to get audience attention. You should be able to like if there's a main character, like the side character is equally as important. I feel like and plays a specific role. It's just sometimes in the limelight you don't see it at that moment, but you know eventually it's there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I do. Women take up space. We deserve to be in the forefront.
What is that?
Women take up space. We deserve to be in the forefront.
I mean, we're overly populated. You might as well. Okay.
Talk about it.
As a writer, like what's like, what roles would you like to see like women in, like as either superheroes or what exactly would you like to see like women in like as a writer?
I think that for that, just I want to see women more. A lot of time women are love interests, and they're like, I did a whole project before on
Whole trope, yeah.
coming of age stories where there aren't many coming of age stories about women, about girls. It's always, you have tons and tons of movies, shows, things like that about men coming of age. You have The Wood, you have like you name it, it's probably like a guy and a girl, but it's never just a girl. But a lot of times it can be just a guy and his story and how he grows into this world and stuff. And I think that there's very little, like Mean Girls can be considered a coming of age story, but again, that's not many, like it's not many references you can point to where it's a story coming of age for women. You have Star Wars, you have like all type of things where they show you this journey of a man doing something, and I think that those journeys for women are just as important and are different in ways, but still have pivotal moments that I think everyone relates to. So I just want to see more
That
of
is
women.
very
I want to
true.
see more of women coming of age. I want to see more of women, as the main villain. I think like
Ooh, the villain.
as the main villain though.
Villains
like,
are always the best.
right.
I
I
think
love
villains,
women villains,
it gets
but
interesting
like
when you're the villain. Like
exactly.
we're tired of the superheroes. We want to see what's going. Like I don't know if y'all ever
Like, when
watched.
you got us
excuse me,
fucked
sorry,
up.
but like the Joker.
Oh, yeah.
The one where they show like the background of the way he is, the family interaction, the like his mental health and all that, and like how his mental state of mind and all that. Like it just made like I'm not into like I don't even know if it's Marvel or whatever. Like whatever the Batman. Gotham, whatever,
Yeah, like
all that,
DC.
like that, whatever
DC,
that is.
yeah.
Like when I watched that movie, I was just like, wow, like it just shows another like you. It looks like okay, this and all our lives, he was the Joker was the villain, but then when you really look at that movie, it's like he's a victim. You know what I mean? Like you really gotta pay attention to certain things, and it like I love movies like that. It gives you an eye opener. Like you have to like start thinking about the characters that they play, and then like what they bring to the table and how they affect people, and like how other people can relate to them. Like
Exactly.
it's especially mental health. That's
Wait,
mental
Taj.
health is crazy.
Taj and Charlotte, like, do you guys think
Mike.
sorry, Taj and Charlotte, like, do you guys think like at least when you go to movies, like there's good female villains, or do you think like they're like played out?
Catwoman. Just putting that out there. Catwoman.
My response will be very quick because I don't watch movies like I used to growing up, but
I'm too cool for
the
that.
past 10, 15, even 20 years. I'm 26 years old, by the way. I don't watch. I'll be in a movie, but I don't watch.
Okay, you watch movies, but you don't watch movies.
I'm on the same.
I watch movies. I said I don't watch movies, but I will be in a movie. Like I,
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Gotcha.
Shout out to you.
What was the question?
Like, do you think like there's good enough representation
Um,
of female characters? Like, I mean,
I actually want to see more like black female women characters playing like Back to America type of like movies, or like that shows like the luxury of them and like how they deserve to be surrounded by like all the abundance that the world has to offer.
Yeah, because we kind of tired of the whole black aggressive and mad angry black women.
but wait a second.
We
like,
tired of that.
but, like,
We're not. We're all.
A
We're
gentle
all
black
like.
But what
that-
about like pandering? Like, if you see like these people are clearly pandering to me. Like this character like shouldn't really exist, but they're like pandering to me. That doesn't bother you? It's like, oh, they just made this person black. Just make them black. It's like, you know what I mean? Like that doesn't bother
That
you?
bothers me.
Okay.
That bothers me.
Sometimes it don't, because I believe in nepotism. Like, you know what? You got that black lady a job. I don't really like that character, but I'm glad she got a job, so I don't be caring.
Nah.
Fuck it.
You gotta change this
Okay.
shit.
Give the black people jobs, but
Nah, we
do
gotta
better with that
change
character
this.
work, too.
For real, cause we like no. It's always the angry black women as a role. Like
Is that a trope? Is that a trope that really gets like I say like is that people really doing that? Like the angry black woman is always what's happening.
It seems that way. Like I feel like
Tyler Perry does it.
Oh, for sure. Like that was about to be like my number one main point of view. Like
I heard that.
I personally don't think he means harm, right? Like
I do.
I don't think
It's
he means
harmful.
harm.
You don't
I
hire
think
no
he just-
writers, baby. It is harm done.
I feel like he's just trying to show people like the realistic kind of ways of like the majority handful of people go through
Think
as
about-
in black culture. But like
Isn't he just isn't he just accentuating like the way people think of like of black people, especially
True.
like black women?
Yeah,
I think it's based on one experience, and that's his. That's why it's not enough to me. I feel like
yeah.
like I
Yeah.
do believe there are black women that act like that on
Yeah.
the
Oh,
regular.
yeah,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh man.
So to that extent, like, but I feel like that's the one that's like when they react like that gets the most attention, or the most liked, or people feel moved by. I don't know. That's how I feel.
Yeah, nobody's very based on authentic. How do I say the word? There we go. Thank you.
There we go. Authenticity.
I feel like more people are based on hype. Like
Okay.
who's hot, who's this, who's more out there, whose name. It's not more so of like who's more authentic, original, and like them true selves, and that's what really sucks. Because you can have an angry black woman, but then you can have another person who's the same I guess category, but they kind of like show you something different, and I don't know. It's just
So let's ask this question: when you write characters, right, and you're writing a black character in one of your stories, are you careful of falling into like stereotypes or falling into kind of like how people would perceive this character?
yeah,
a
I'm
good
very
question.
careful of that while I write, and giving notes to others as well, without like discrediting their experience. Right? I don't want to take away from a story because at the end of the day, I'm a storyteller. However, I do think that there's some things and there's ways to not make character stereotypes. There's ways to add humanity and to add things to whatever is common, right? Like, I'm not saying a black woman character has to always be rich or has to always fit into this like block box or be glorified. Sometimes I want, a character to fit the story. But you can still give them dynamic. You can still give them growth. You can still give them their own set of like perspective and flaws and try to make that come across in your story so that you're not just coming off as angry, because angry is a secondary emotion. So what's the emotion under that? And it doesn't have to be just hurt. So that's what I try to look for in my characters when I'm writing.
Actually, let me ask you guys a question. What makes a good character? Like, either a character that you've connected to or a character that's like, they've written. Like, what makes a good character? What's a character that you've kind of like?
Well, for me, I really enjoy when a character is really determined and shows that the determination can overcome many obstacles or, life lessons like that. That's kind of my deal. At least for heroes. If it's like a villain or antagonist type of character, obsession. I love when they're just obsessed.
Obsession. That's
I
good,
love
yeah.
when they're obsessed with shit. Yeah, they just get crazy.
That's very specific, but I like it.
What do you like in a character? Let's go.
I like quirkiness. Like I like if they're a weirdo, because I'm also a weirdo. So
Okay.
it makes me feel more, like there's other people out there. This is being themselves authentically.
I'm just.
Yeah.
I'm just not a weirdo myself. There's some other weirdos. Okay. Is that it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. What you guys say?
What I like in a character?
Mhm.
I like a character that overcame obstacles in their life, like
Give
coming
me an
from
example of one.
a rough upbringing, like poverty. So like, let's say you live like in a low income neighborhood, in a low income environment. There's like no food on the table. Mom's always out working, so you're always by yourself. And then having that individual person going through like so many experiences and making like choices where it's good or bad, but eventually coming to a mindset mentality that they want better for themselves. So they change their practices and what they do and who they hang around, and they just become like this saint basically, in a sense,
So
or
is
like a
that
better
like
person.
Aladdin? Like, I think Aladdin did that, right? But like, if you were to put like a name to that experience, like what character is that?
Braveheart.
Okay, I gotta watch that. I didn't watch that.
Oh, I suck at
I
those.
gotta watch Braveheart.
I don't know nothing about movies. Nothing.
But that's not. It's not.
Give me a '90s comedy, like.
Braveheart.
Braveheart's not an actual character. That was just a character thing I just made up.
Yeah. Okay.
But, yeah, I don't know movies. I don't remember them.
Ah. Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
But Braveheart is a movie.
Oh. Thank you.
What about you though? What's a character that really sticks with you?
An unforgiving character. I love them. That unforgiving. Like, they don't play it. They don't care if you apologize. They don't care if you try to get back in their good graces. They don't forgive you. I love that. To me, like, to name a character, that makes me think of A Thin Line Between Love and Hate. Martin had that lady fucked up. She did not forgive him. She was trying to take him and that girl out.
He fucked up. He
love-
should never told her he
He
loved her.
shouldn't have. He shouldn't have.
He should
She
have
was
never
the
said he
victim.
loved her.
She was the victim.
She was. Listen,
A Thin Line Between Love and Hate.
with Martin
No.
Lawrence and what's her face? Yeah, they.
Regina
that was
King.
a good. That
She was unforgiving. She wasn't playing with him. I love that. I was like, yes, girl, don't forget that nigga.
Yeah, he lied and said he loved you. Kill his ass. Kill his ass.
Kill, but
No, kill his ass. You playing with my feelings. You about to tell me you love me while you inside me? No. Kill his ass. Fuck that. No.
Don't play with her.
No. No.
Okay.
Don't tell me you love me and you don't mean it. You want some coochie? No. No.
Yo,
You gotta
Joy,
be real.
What makes a good story? I was listening to this guy. He said promise. It's like promise, progress, and payoff. So like promise, you have to promise the audience, like what the story's about. You have to also like give them the progress of like what's going on, and then the payoff is like when they watch it and if you see the conclusion, like you realize that it was all worth it. So promise, progress, payoff. When you write stories, like how do you do that?
Well, my process for promise, progress, and payoff. Well, to me, that's kind of the formula. No matter how you want to like frame it, right? Like you have the beginning, middle, and end. You have to hit certain things in between. You have to hit certain things in between. So whether that's like in the exposition, like really getting your audience to understand the characters and understand the story and where you're going.
Can you define exposition for people?
So that's really just like laying the story out. So, right, like you kind of start with, most movies start with their exposition because you need to understand why you're even rooting for a character or understand why you should be watching, right? So, like, that's kind of the promise, right, to some extent. And, of course, you have, like, the climax and the resolution, but to get to those points, you kind of have to hit certain things, and I think character development is key. I think that actually having interesting themes that, an interesting theme or interesting themes that you touch on is even better for a story, but at the same time, it's like if your whole story is just things that you want to say, then you should be doing nonfiction, not fiction. That's your point of view. That's not a character's life, a character's story, a character's progress, and a character's payoff or resolution. So that's how I look at writing in the sense of what makes a good story, and I think that what's good for those characters make the good story. Not like niggas are trash. That's what I want to say. So my characters are not with these niggas. No, that's like what if it's a better story for my character to end up with that person and they have to figure it out? That's what I think of when I'm writing.
You know, I don't write, but I watch a lot of like little clips and stuff. I like anime. I don't know about y'all, but anime is my shit. Like I like these Japanese people come up with the craziest story plot line that makes you think like, whoa, like Attack on Titan, Death Note, Death Note was good.
I love Death and Robots too.
They have so much like, and then it's crazy because like in the anime shows sometimes it be like they be the what do you call it the villain, but then you really find out at the end they really the victim. Like it's weird. It's like I love anime.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie.
It's
when a
so
girl says,
like
when a
I
girl
love
says she
anime.
watches
I love their mind,
when
like
a
the
girl
way
says she
they
watches
think
anime,
of the
it boosts their sex
plot.
appeal like 10 plus. It's unfortunate.
So you counting? So you counting sex appeal? Don't worry about it.
I don't know. I was watching this anime. It was about cooking and it had a whole lot of extra stuff.
Look at him. He knows.
He knows. No. Oh my god, I can't even remember. But
He's
like,
so
it was-
excited. He's so excited.
Yes, it was morning when they ate food. Like her titties was bouncing. Like it was so.
Yo, what?
I'm sorry.
You made an
Is
omelet
this too
and
much?
her clothes.
That's not anime.
It is anime.
That's not anime. That's hentai.
Anime.
Yo,
Anime.
we're
They
about to
teach you
take
how to cook. They teach you how
we're
to
about
be
to take a
horny.
we're about to take a break.